So this is Black Ops 3, the latest Call of Duty to come out. This one's made by Treyarch. They've had an extra year this time because Sledgehammer made Advanced Warfare, which was the old one. So instead of doing a first opinions of it, I thought I would wait and play the game for a couple of weeks or a week and a bit, because my opinions at the beginning would have changed to what I think now. And I think that's probably a good thing, because many of my opinions that I form come later once you play the game a bit more and people sort of settle into how they play the game, etc. It's alright, actually. I would say it's much better than Advanced Warfare. I didn't particularly like that game. I thought it had major balancing issues. It's better than Ghosts in many ways, and I think this is sort of going back a bit to the original Call of Duties, or the older Call of Duties, which I think many people got into Call of Duty because of them. Such as World at War, World at War, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare. Those sort of ones were the peak, I would say. Something I like. So this is amazing. The movement is fantastic. I feel like with Call of Duty we've gone through the extremes. Obviously at the beginning you had the just usual forward, backwards, jumping around, that sort of stuff, which was great. It worked really nicely, but it was not new. There was no real dynamics to it. It was just normal movement. And then of course when Advanced Warfare came out, everyone was jumping around like kangaroos, and it became hard to shoot anyone. It was a failure. I did not like it. I thought it was unbalanced, and I thought it made the game really unplayable. And even with that sort of movement, they still put the walls everywhere. So it was like they were restricting on your movement by giving you more movement. It became less. It flowed less. It was the dynamics of the game sort of went. And I think with this game, the way that you run on walls and you can sort of do little jumps like that just then, it adds a new perspective to the game that no other Call of Duty has really done. I feel that it allows me to get some better shots on people if I need to. If they're behind walls, I can run away on the wall to sort of avoid bullets and that sort of thing. And it's not overpowered. They have balanced it really well. And with that, they've sort of fixed the spawnings as well. One of my pet hates of Call of Duty is the fact that I spawn and then will die instantly. I mean, it's not perfect on this game by any means. They have balanced it better than the old ones, but I think they've still got to reanalyze it. A couple of times when I was playing the game, I would sort of spawn and then instantly die because someone was just bouncing around a little bit, and it does bug me. But on the whole, it's much better than it used to be, and I think that's the whole point of this. They got to keep going forward and keep advancing what they're doing and how the game plays to make it a much better experience. So the other thing that they've changed is to add to the gameplay is the specialists. So you can, when you first get into the multiplayer, you're level 1, you can choose between things. So you can have things like gravity spikes, or on the flip side of that there is this armor that protects you a little bit. You will only get shot in the head, which is alright. Then there's this lady that has a bow, and you can use the bow and arrow, or the vision pulse, which I've got on. I find that really useful. And so on. And as you go up in levels, I think you get more and more powerful ones. You get ones with grenade launchers and miniguns and that sort of stuff. And it's the idea behind it is it's a bit like a score streak, but it sort of levels up as you go in time. So if you in the bottom right hand corner, you can see there's a little eye, and it's got a bar going around it. Eventually you'll get to the top and I'll be able to activate it, and in my one a red light goes out, and it is a vision pulse, that's what they call it, and it shows where the enemies are on the map and on my screen, so that I can go kill them nicely. I think it's the most practical one I found so far. I don't like the bow particularly. It's unless you're in a very specific location at the time, it's not very functional, because the speed the guns kill people, and this is one of the things I don't particularly like about it. The speed in which I die. In all Call of Duties, no matter where I am on the map, I have a sense that I'm going to win a battle. That's what makes me run around. I can run around. I think yes, whenever I confront anyone, I'm gonna win. I've got that maybe fake sense of invulnerability. Whereas on this, I will be running through and I will just think, you know what, I'm gonna die, and then I do, and that's it. I constantly get the feeling I die. Ah, here we go. So that's the vision pulse just there. That's that. There you go, and you can see I can now see where the enemies are. I'm gonna go hunt them. But even with abilities like that, because how quickly you kill people on this and how quickly you get killed, I feel like if I run into the open, I'm just gonna get shot from across the map. And although the game's balanced, the guns aren't particularly. They are just like little laser guns. It's not as although I wouldn't say it's as bad as some of the other Call of Duties, because I feel like I'm on 75% of the health that maybe other Call of Duties put me on. I mean, even there, I don't even know how many shots I landed. I probably landed only 3 or 4, and it was enough to really take him down. There are guns that will take you down in 2 shots. They even advertise it as well. They're like, hey, look, you know, these guns, although they're single, you know, semi-auto, you have to click them yourself, it will still take you down in 2 shots, and that's insane on any Call of Duty. You know, you can get across the map and close quarters if you have a fast trigger finger. That's a pretty powerful gun, and I think it takes away from the game a little bit. It makes people want to start sitting in a corner and camping, and I feel like I have to crouch around everywhere, because if I'm too loud, I'm just going to get spotted and killed pretty quickly. Like, and even when I start shooting first, chances are I'll die. Like that. That's a prime example. Then I was shooting first. I was shooting 2 people. I just died. He probably had a better aim than me, but I just feel that, yeah, as a whole, the guns could be balanced a bit more, or the health of something changed a bit, because I don't like the feeling that I'm just gonna end up dying. I think it detracts from the game, and it's not just me as well. There are other people that I play with, and I know that feel the same. They just go, oh, I'm gonna die, and then they do. That happens. I feel like I'm not gonna win the gunfight, and that's what I do like about Call of Duty, is the fact that, you know, I can go through. And the second that the kill streaks frustrate me a bit. I like tradition in terms of 1 kill equals 1 point towards my kill streak. You know, it's always been like that, and it bugs me that on, you know, other games or other game modes like Kill Confirmed, you know, 50 points is only half a kill. You know, if I want to get a UAV, which in this game is 5 kills, that's, you know, that was Predator Missile on Modern Warfare 2. That's, you know, on 5 kills, that means I have to get 10 kills. You know, obviously everyone's like, well, yeah, you know, pick up the tags then. Well, it's not always as easy as that. And and they argue, well, you know, you should be picking up the tags anyway. You do, but you can't always. Someone else might pick up the tags, you know, whatever. And I don't think the kill streaks are particularly good for how they are. Like, when you eventually do get a 5 kill streak and you activate UAV, it starts counting down, or it tells you how much fuel it has left. And I start thinking, well, hold on a minute, I've just spent, you know, 5 minutes getting this, and it's gone in 25-30 seconds. And, you know, arguably UAV is one of the most powerful kill streaks, because it tells you where the enemy is. But even so, I mean, at 5 kills, that's a hell of a lot. And yes, there is a perk that allows you to have an increase of like 75 points when you spawn. But I don't have to sacrifice a point of my precious 10 when I'm creating my class to just stick on a perk that allows me to sort of cheat my way up a little bit and puts it down to 4.25. Have you ever tried to get a 0.25 of a kill? It's pretty hard on this game, especially when you're playing something like Team Deathmatch. So although yes, granted, it means that it puts me slightly closer on other game modes when, you know, like Domination, when I can just get onto the capturing at the beginning. But on something like Team Deathmatch, I still have to get 5 kills, and for a UAV, that's a hell of a lot. And the RCXD, or their version of the RCXD, is on 4 kills. So it doesn't quite make sense to me. I don't know if it's just because I'm very traditional when it comes to the kill streaks. I'm not a massive fan of score streaks anyway. I think that the best balance is the one where 1 kill goes 1 towards your streak, and if you capture something like place and domination, that's also 1 towards your streak. If you kill someone, that's also 1 to... I think that's the best route starting picking, how many points something gives you, it just makes it more complicated than it has to be. But then, that's how they've done it, and it does balance it out a bit, and there's no more. People just don't get constant streams of kill streaks like they did on Modern Warfare 2. If you got a chopper gunner, then you're going to get reams and reams and reams of kills, and you eventually get your most people had a nuke on after that if you're going to have anything higher than you. So I do like that. I do like the attachments though. I think they've done this very well. I like a variety of attachments I can put on my gun, and I've sort of been working my way up them over the course of a couple of weeks and trying them out. I've been trying everything out on the private modes and stuff like that, and I like the fact that I can have 5 attachments or 4 attachments on my gun. I think it really adds personalization to it, that everyone's not just got the same setup like they have on many other CODs. There's that perfect setup. I think this allows a little bit of variety when you're creating your classes. I like the fact that I can have a sight and a suppressor and a grip and the stock on my on my gun, and it allows me to have that little bit of an advantage in certain places. You can actually, I feel like you can tune your gun using the amount of attachments they've got to fit the map, which rather than have just a blanket gun that will do everything everywhere. I really like that, and again I think this adds to sort of the balance to it. But I just wish the maps had more variety so I could do it more. I think we're losing trends on Call of Duties of having large maps. If you go back to the older CODs, there were large maps, sometimes with really open spaces. Sometimes it was raining, and sometimes it was snowing, and you would have different ghillie suits so that you would be able to see and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like I really earned the right to be camouflaged. It was being able to dominate in a map where there is no cover was really, really fulfilling. And I think that, and I just feel like that Call of Duty is made by builders, because there's walls everywhere. There's just walls, and there's restrictions, and I feel like it's very fake. There's no, like, you go through a little tunnel and you go into an open place, and you go through another building, and then you're instantly in another open place, and I feel like having those buildings that adds nothing to the game. In fact, all it does is stops me moving. It deteriorates from the flow, and you start getting trapped into these little tunnels. There's one of the maps. There is this tunnel that goes from where you spawn to where the enemy spawns, and there's vehicles in it. And I always seem to end up getting funneled towards them in one way or another, and end up being stuck in the middle of it, and I usually die as a result. I'm starting to call it the tunnel of misfortune, because every time I go down there, something really bad happens. Only a few times have I gone down there and got some really, really good shots. And I don't like this. I don't like being forced to go down in these small little areas, these small tunnels, especially when I know that I'm about to die, because I get this feeling that actually when someone pops around the corner, they're going to have a far superior gun than I. And I feel that's another part of the game as well. Like I'm leveling up really slowly, which is unusual. Usually in Call of Duty I level up pretty quickly, but I feel like the amount of kills I can get is really diminished in this game, because I find it very, very tricky to kill, because I like to take my time on a shot and look to where people are going. Although I feel like I have quite quick response times. I feel that I'm very unlucky, or they are lucky, or they've already got to the fast guns. I feel like once you've played this for a long time, you're at a serious advantage. Some of this game is beautiful though, like those shadows. I do like appreciating the shadows. I remember when I first got Call of Duty, one of the things I saw was the fact that they had taken the time to animate how the light that goes around my body and a shadow on the wall. I thought that's really cool, especially when an enemy's coming towards you, and the only reason you knew they were coming was the fact that their shadow was coming straight towards you. It was very threatening, but I felt it really added to the game. So, what do I think? I think this game is better than the rest. I think that it will keep improving as time goes on. There's no I feel that it will be more playable than Advanced Warfare, and I think that the next sort of Call of Duties will learn from this, and I think this is really the right way we're going. Would I advise you to buy it? Yes. So, thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.